Do you think there is a part of Clive that believes that he is a woman?
No.
Nothing?
Not at all. This man was incredibly proud of being male, incredibly proud when he had a little girl masturbating on him. And the thought that he now can still go around as he was and tell people that the reason he did what he did was because maybe he felt a bit like he should have been a woman, and he was intrigued by that.
Is he telling people that?
That's what the victim liaison officer said when she first told me, was that this is one of the reasons why, because he wanted to be in touch with his feminine side. Okay, great. But at the same time, that means then that he takes away any kind of innocence of a child. That's not an excuse. That's not okay. And actually, the fact that he's trying to make it that shows how dangerous and manipulative that man is. You know, he's not only manipulated me as a child, he's manipulated everyone around him, a whole parole board, a justice system. It's all his.
Despite all that, though, I mean, he must regret, I mean, it was a bit of trolling or whatever with the name Claire Fox, but because of that, it made the news. And now presumably everybody knows that this person pretending to be Claire Fox is actually this person who's committed such heinous crimes.
What he's done there is he's tried to pop up out of the woodwork like, hey, look, it's me. And by the way, I'm still in control because I've given you permission. So I'm still in control here because I'm allowing you to know that. What he didn't realise was I've actually not allowed what he did to consume me. I've allowed it to drive me. And unfortunately for him, there's no getting away from it because I won't allow him to feel like he's won because he hasn't. You
took control of the narrative, and
absolutely.
Now people know exactly who Claire Fox, if that Claire Fox is, it's Clive.
Yeah.
Gosh, if you were sort of in his home now, wherever he is he sat there with a wig on and all of that stuff, or is he probably just being him?
He's been spotted as a male in the local community where he shouldn't be.
God.
Unfortunately, these people haven't phoned the police and haven't kind of reported it. So for me to try and actually ring the victim liaison officer and kind of be like, hey, by the way, he's as a man, I can't do that. That's up for them to do. You know, it could be harassment if I'm continuously phoning and saying, oh, he's been spotted here, he's been spotted here. You know, that was told to me. It could be classed as harassment, which is absurd and ludicrous. But, you know, again, that's the law, that's the legislation, isn't it? He's supposed to be allowed to live a free life. But actually what he's doing here is he's walking around the community where he's based in a wig and leaving the community as a male. And them two people are different, aren't they? He's not that person. So you look at CCTV of him in a wig, you look at CCTV of him elsewhere, not in that wig. Suddenly he's changed, isn't he? And he can't be spotted easy.
Did being trying to pretend he was a woman get him out of prison earlier, do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. You imagine how much our prisons are full. We know that. Okay, yeah. I don't have to go into that. Everybody knows that. It's all we've heard for the last, I don't even know how long. So imagine now paying for someone to be segregated away from everyone else, showers, food, everything. Imagine how much money and pressure that puts on the prison service. So even though they won't hold their hands up publicly and say it, I've absolutely heard from reliable sources that is exactly the reason why they have released him.
Really? What sources told you?
So one of my advocates, one of my independent sexual violence advocate said this happens, and it happens because of exactly the reasons I said. You know, there's so much more to this story that I would love to say, but I can't because I have nobody who's willing to come out and say it because they're so afraid of losing their job, so afraid of the backlash. And I'm just a person, aren't I? And I'm a person that will be argued with because what degrees do I hold? What do I know?
What kind of person would argue with you on this, though? I always try to see the other side of things, you know, and I can't see it here. This is one of the rare times where I'm thinking, I mean, of course I understand that most trans people would never do anything like this, and that you're not even speaking about a trans person because you're saying this person is not that, but is making use of the loophole from what I think is unfortunately a crazy law that we've allowed with regards to self-ID and those kinds of things. And that they're now calling him in what world do they not go, Clive, shut up, get back to your cell? Yeah. You know, you're not having a wig. What world is this right now? I don't, and that's the good side, that's the virtuous side. That's the people doing good and getting him out of prison. Is that, do you think, the difference between looking good and actually doing good. Like they look good, the prison and other people have helped him now by helping out, but they're actually not interested in doing good.
It's a tick box exercise, isn't it? You know, to them, look at us, we're being really accepting, we're being great, we're being really, you know, we're providing things for this, we're allowing this, so look how good we are, look how amazing of a country we are to allow this. When actually they're not thinking about the fact that everything that he has taken, he's now taking again. He is now taken a new identity. He has ran away from the old one. And it's almost as if all the abuse that he put on myself is ignored. It's gone. It didn't happen because Clive Bundy no longer exists. He is Claire Fox.
When you are speaking with people who disagree with you, do they refer to Clive as she?
Yeah. There's been multiple times. I mean, the parole board statement is all it said was she, her. She, her. Great. Okay, so I will read that as knowing the man that he was, and I have to accept that because ultimately his rights are way above mine.
It must be so bizarre for you to have to read these statements, knowing what he is and what he's done to you, and have to read she, because there is almost, even if it's not said, there's kind of a she's a victim element, isn't there?
Yeah.
Like poor she's a bit confused and she didn't know she was a she.
And that's why she did this, because she went through a whole time where she was so confused with herself. She was just exploring. You know, children naturally explore, don't they? Young children explore with their bodies because they don't know. And we have to learn. Not a 40-year-old grown man with 8 children. He does not explore bodies. That's not what happens. And I think for me, the fact that this was allowed and then I was left to deal with it on my own was absolutely disgusting. You know, I remember FaceTiming my siblings and saying to them, having to deliver the news that he is now a woman. They laughed down the phone at me. They told me I was lying. They told me that's not true, because none of them believed that he ever would be. And I had to really take time to break that to them. Why was that on me? You know, why was that for me to do? But unfortunately, it didn't matter about me, did it? It mattered about him.